guys! So, you might remember, about a month ago, I did a little video called 9th Gen and the Future. And it looks like the rest of gaming YouTube is finally caught up with Zenblock. I shall explain in case you missed the video. I spouted the idea that when the next generation of consoles come out, that each system would have two SKUs. Now my idea was that, admittedly I based this mostly around PlayStation, but I guessed that Microsoft would probably do something similar, if not exactly the same, would basically to be have one system, right, where they're both the same price. System 1 has a 1 terabyte hard drive, alright, but is disk driven, so you're still buying discs, so not all your hard drive space is being eaten up by game data. Okay? System number 2 is completely digital and therefore has a 2 terabyte hard drive. Both costing the same, both having the same capabilities and all the rest of it, same gamepad, all the same sort of accoutrement. Okay, ooh, accoutrement. Anyway, so both systems are technically the same, except one has a disk drive and the other doesn't. Both costing the same, but the lack of a disk drive obviously means you have more storage space than the other. And I thought this was a fairly fair proposal. And it looks like a month later on, all the big channels, Pretty Good Gaming, Review Tech USA, Kinda Funny Games Daily, Foxy Games UK, they've all come and said what I said a month ago. So who do you trust? Yeah, trust Zenblock. That's who you trust. Me. But enough of the bragging. So, is this going to be what Microsoft does? Because there's a lot of rumours swirling around. Well, that's what happens in the internet. Rumours swirl around. And from the way the pundits are talking, and big and small, I mean, guys like Fox and guys like Greg Miller, that could be the thing they do. Now the question then becomes, right, okay, so Microsoft will do two SKUs. If Microsoft is doing two SKUs, then chances are so are Sony. Because as much as they like to try and keep secrets from each other, I'm sure there are spies and whatnot. And they'll be looking at, what kind of parts the other is ordering and figuring it out. And, somebody at some developer platform will have blabbed, Whether it's by accident or by getting a little bit on the side, who's to say? Certainly not me. Anyway, so let's say that this happens. We get these two SKUs of machines. What does that then mean from that point on? Well, it means that somewhere along the lines, internet services have got to get better. Because if the diskless machine proves to be popular, then that means, that the networks have got to get better. Not just PSN and Xbox networks. I'm talking about the actual ISPs and how they deliver stuff to us. That's got to get a lot better. Because, there are large chunks of North America and a lot of other places as well, where the internet is far from a desirable state. So, how is that going to get fixed? Is it going to get fixed in this age of the loss of net neutrality in North America? Zenblock doesn't think so. Because, let's face it, the whole loss of net neutrality is a major blow. So, one, net neutrality has to return for obvious reasons, apart from, having sustainable online gaming for streaming systems, or at least systems where you're downloading games onto a hard drive for playing later. Not to mention for playing online with other people. I mean, if you're going to have the games companies follow a Netflix-like model, then it's got to be able to support that, because it's not just the data coming down, it's the data going back. That's what causes the online lag when it comes to gaming. Now, admittedly, PlayStation Now is meant to be pretty decent. I've not tried it myself, but you know, if you're like hammering away in a fighting game and what you're hitting isn't happening the moment you're hitting it, it's happening after the moment you're hitting it, then if you're playing against someone who's got the disc version, you know, that's not so good. Now, it might level out in the ether, you know, it's sort of like, as it's all happening online, it might get smoothed out there somehow, some kind of clever programming, computery, jiggery pokery. But my bet would be no. So, the internet has to get stronger. It just has to get stronger anyway. I mean, it's like we're asking more and more and more of our online existences. So, yeah, that's got to happen. Then what else has got to happen? Well, if games are going to become purely digital only, as a lot of people think that's going to happen eventually, then the price has got to come down. It's that simple. If we're not paying for discs and boxes, then that price has got to be offset. It just has to. Otherwise people are going to feel ripped off. I mean, people go and pay 60 quid now for an online game that costs 60 quid in a box because the boxes are still being produced. Maybe not in as heavy in numbers, but there you go. What else happens? Pre-orders. Pre-orders are dead. I mean, I see a lot of people talking, a lot of forums going like, I'm not pre-ordering anymore, pre-ordering's for chumps. And I can kind of get down with that because, I mean, the recent thing that's happened that I heard about today, here, on this side of the Atlantic, if you go and get the Spider-Man edition of the PlayStation Pro, but you can only buy it from Game, which is a retailer over here, for those of you in Zembloke land who are from elsewhere. And basically, you have to buy it for more than it costs you in the States because they bundled a whole bunch of stuff in that you probably don't want. I mean, there's a headset in there. What if you got a headset when you had a normal PS4 and you've decided to upgrade? Now you've got two headsets? Who needs two headsets? Seriously. I mean, two gamepads I can understand, but two headsets? Nah. So people don't have the option to just buy the console on its own. They have to have all this other stuff piled on top, thus raising the price. Naughty, naughty Game. Naughty, naughty. That is very unconsumer friendly of you. Then, of course, pre-orders die. What else happens? Well, if pre-orders die, then what's going to happen to, like, you know, special editions? You know, your statues and your art books and, you know, your commemorative mugs and so on that get bundled into special editions. You know, like codes, you know. Now, you could buy a special edition digital that would probably have extra digital stuff in it. That would survive, yes. But mugs and statues and art books and coins and all that kind of crazy stuff, that doesn't look like it's got a future. So then that would mean you'd have to buy that stuff separate. Which then would mean it would have to be produced in larger numbers for it to be viable to be sold in a store, and then it would be special edition. It's kind of chicken and egg but in reverse. Yeah, so it's tricky. You know, an all digital existence, yes, you save on space, You know, but then collectors like to collect. But then if there's nothing to collect, it gets tricky, doesn't it, when you start to worm it all through in your head. And once you're done worming it through in your head, please feel free to typey down below. Let me know what you think on this, guys. After all, YouTube is meant to be part of the discussion. We are a community. And if you guys in the community would do me the great favour ringing that bell, so then I can actually, or rather YouTube can actually tell you when my videos are out, because they're not very good at that, are they? Anyway, you know the drill. Rate, favourite, comment, share, subscribe, and of course, as always, aye, bother.